Seiya Suzuki with another roller coaster season. Are you ready to hop back on, or could there possibly be a trade? Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the FanDuel app today. We finished naming and grading and whatever you want to call it to the rest of the 2025 Cubs to wrap up later in the show. We also look at the future of Seiya Suzuki and the future of outfield, right field, namely, and DH for 2026. And we start with Seiya's 2025, where in 151 games, he slashed 245, 326, 478 with an OPS of 804 to go along with 32 home runs, 31 doubles. And this one snuck up on me. 103 runs batted in.
Yeah, it's the best one.
Sam, Seiya, as you've said many times, including in the Open today, roller coaster. We've used the term enigma before. How did you view Seiya's 2025 campaign?
I think it's the toughest grade for me because early in the year, I thought Seiya did exactly what you wanted him to do, especially hitting around guys like Kyle Tucker and Pete Crow-Armstrong. He really altered his approach almost in an extreme way. He finished this year with a 326 on base percentage, which is low for him. His career is 346, and in the year prior, he was 366. But in doing that, in shrinking his on-base percentage, he was more aggressive, particularly in RBI spots, and it led to a ton of big hits and runs batted in. And at times, it looked like he was going to drive in close to 130 runs and hit close to 40 home runs. The first half of his season, and let's include then you have a really big day, like the first day out of the break against Boston, if my mind serves me correctly. At that point, I think he was having like an A+ season or an A season because he was doing exactly what he needed to do. Be aggressive, look to drive the ball. And I remember I had a tweet that went viral that I didn't want to go viral because it's just how sometimes it works. In May, and I said one of the things that scares me about this offense is like, if Seiya is going to be your second best hitter or third best hitter, what's going to happen when you have the inevitable this guy can't hit for a month or two? And I got crushed for it. And it happened. And it was really, really bad. And I'll be honest with you, heading into the last week of the season, I was done with Seiya. No, I'm serious. I was
you were wondering about his playoff starting status.
Absolutely. I was done with him. I threw in the towel. Unlike Ian Happ, he's somebody that I think realistically could waive his no trade clause because I think he would just like to play somewhere warmer, just from everything we've heard about Jed lying to him about the weather and that whole story. And then he gets really hot heading into the postseason. And I say to myself, this is classic Seiya. Once the postseason starts, he'll be back. And he was amazing in the playoffs. He hit 3 home runs. And I'm telling you, Matt, if things went a little bit differently, he could have hit some of the biggest home runs we've seen in a Cub uniform. That 3-run homer in Game 2 against Milwaukee, they could have won that game. That solo shot to tie the game in Game 5. I think I ended the year kind of back in on Seiya.
Absolutely. No, I like how you took us through that because
it's really hard. He's a hard guy to figure out.
There's bumpy roads with him.
Yeah.
They don't get it. They don't put the construction signs out and pave it every summer with him. It's bumpy. It has some degrading to it. as I just
I don't know.
I appreciate your reaction to that, but I just thought of that. But the possible memorable moments in the postseason really sparked me as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the one against San Diego was memorable to me. And then
Sure.
the near ones against the team up north that played like a JV team in the NLCS. But yeah, the final week for Seiya in the regular season.
No, they looked like a JV team.
Thank you. For him, did it prove? If you don't believe in momentum, then what did the last week of the regular campaign do for Seiya in the playoffs? What would you call that? Because it looked like he just rode it into the playoffs to me.
I call it momentum.
Thank you. And this is a guy that also, though, did hit 213 in the second half.
Awful.
He, at Wrigley, Sam, well, first of all, his batting average was 40 points lower than his first 3 years. If you look at 22, 23, 24.
He sacrificed a lot of average and a lot of OBP, and he added in the slug department.
And to your point about trades, which we'll get to even next segment more.
Even though slug was less.
On the road, he hit 43 points higher. That's a lot. I don't know how else to put that.
Let me get some info here too.
1 home run in August in 27 games. He had such a drought then.
Right.
But again, to glean from, is it glean or gleam? I don't know.
You taught English.
Don't comment. In totality, if we're inspired by Jed Hoyer, in totality, the baseball card, despite some turbulence in average and on base, the production does look good. Bear in mind, his teammates around him, especially the first 90 to 100 games. But Sam, for the Cubs to be good again in 26, for them to win 90 plus, for them to do damage in the postseason, Seiya has to play a big role. There's no other way about it.
I feel like we just described Ian Happ's season, but just a better version of it, right? And that's why those guys are tough to have together. You got really great highs, really low lows, ups and downs, and that's the case. I've moved on from the Seiya Suzuki. Oh, could this guy be a real high-level star? But I think you're right. You got to have some guys in there that you know what you're going to get over the course of 162. Is there a way? Jed even talked about this. Like, is there a way to minimize the downs? So, Matt, in August with him and parts of September, it genuinely looked like we had a pitcher batting.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, this guy has 30 homers. What happened here?
Mm-hmm.
But the totality was good. And I know a lot of analytic people will roll their eyes, but I think it's really significant to me that he got it done when it mattered in the playoffs. He was at his best when they needed him most. You know how I feel about that. I'm open with Seiya to have him back, be one of the middle of the order guys, but you got to then surround him with guys that are a little less volatile month to month. Would you like a grade?
Yes, because I graded Ian Happ a B-.
Yeah.
That plays a role in my grade. I'm giving Seiya a B.
I gave Ian Happ a C, and I'm giving Seiya Suzuki a B.
Okay. A full letter grade more. Mine just a little bit more. Okay.
32 and 103, higher OPS than Happ. I mean, I think they need to be separated by a full grade, Mateo.
Well, I will take that under advisement.
Just, and by the way, when I say this stuff to our incredible co-host and producer here, we're having fun. You know what I mean? I'm not.
What you just said my name differently, you mean?
Well, yeah. Well, I saw some comments. Sam's kind of, he's being mean to Matt. Let me tell you something. Okay. If Matt thought I was being mean to him, he'd take care of it off the air, folks. Okay.
Coming up next,
I'd give Suzuki a B.
We do a show which some other Cub shows don't understand. Anyway,
we're trying to have some fun. It's October and it looks like it's snowing.
Yikes. It was cold, pretty cold today. Coming up next, Seiya seems destined for one position in 2026. We tell you what that is and why right after this. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch. Let's be honest, most of us can't even name all our financial accounts, let alone what they're worth. Between 401ks, savings, and investments, it's easy to lose track, and that can mean leaving money on the table. That's why I started using Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. It's helped me organize my accounts, track my spending, and get a better handle on my investments without having to touch a spreadsheet. And you can review everything with your partner, see your shared goals, and make better financial decisions together. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarch.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarch.com, monarch.com. Code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year with Monarch. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. With football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. When you play Prize Picks, it's going to be such a fun way to stay locked in for this football season. It's quick, easy. It's going to be your favorite way to follow along. And you could pick Josh Allen, more or less, passing yards. You could pick Saquon Barkley, more or less, rushing touchdowns, and a whole lot more. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Shout out to the everydayers. You can become a Locked On Cubs everydayer by joining us for every episode throughout the week. Unless I'm missing something, Seiya seems destined for right field in 2026. Kyle Tucker likely to depart in free agency, so Seiya goes back to the outfield with Pete and Ian Happ next to him. He did improve defensively in 2025 after being at best a mixed bag the 3 seasons before and at worst a disaster. At times missing routine fly balls. Sam, it does seem like he's ticketed for right field, and I think as we discuss internal options, I do think I'm okay with that.
100% if he plays, I think he's going to be in right. It's too early for the rumor mill, but there was some Schwarber stuff today with Heyman. Don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I got to catch up on the rumor mill stuff.
Yeah, it was nothing. It was just like
I'm doing a delayed rumor mill this year.
Yeah, it's likely Phillies, but Cubs, nostalgia, whatever. Right. But even in that case, Schwarber DH, they would be in right. Yeah. I think the bigger question, I agree with you, by the way. I agree with you, right field.
Okay.
But the bigger question is Seiya's owed $19 million in 26. Okay. We know that the Cubs are on a big tight budget plan. With Ballesteros in the fold, with Casey in the fold, with PCA locking down center, in this case, assuming Happ's not going to waive his no trade clause, is there a world where the Cubs would explore it? I only ask because for whatever reason, I have no inside info at all here. Just reading between the lines, I just feel like if one of the two guys, Happ or Seiya, were to waive the no trade, it'd be Seiya. And we heard those rumors in the offseason to San Diego last year.
And Houston.
Right. Is there a world where the Cubs trade him? What would they get back? I thought about it hard. If you're going to lose Tucker, how do you lose him and then put out an offense that makes sense?
Great question.
I mean,
great question. That's where I'm at too.
In that case, they'd have to add a Schwarber, add an Alonso, and then maybe they trade Seiya and they get a different type of bat in return or like an arm. I doubt it.
Yeah, well, what would interest me is if they got someone under control for at least 2 years to play right field or an impact starting pitcher in a trade for him. I guess you could trade him for a prospect and then do that in separate signings or trades, but you'd like to do it in the same deal. Yeah, we do know that he came up with at least 2 teams last year. We were confused in December. Well, wait, they're going to trade Seiya in the same deal for Kyle Tucker? Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
That quickly was dispelled, and it didn't happen, thankfully. But I think you're really transforming your team if you lose both. And it's hard to see a path to transforming it for the better.
Better combination. Seiya and Tucker, or Bellinger and Schwarber.
I think I'm going to go Seiya and Tucker because of the diversity, the handedness diversity.
It's a great thought. I asked the question without an answer.
I think a reunion with Bellinger, and I can't believe it's come up already this offseason, but I don't know if I'm missing something or
there's something to it, isn't it?
Yeah, but I just don't see why.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why right now.
Because they enjoyed being here.
No.
Oh. He did. He did enjoy.
Who did we do a show on yesterday?
Bush.
What did we talk about with Bush and when lefties are on the mound, first base, right? Bellinger could play a ton.
Lefties, yeah.
He could hit lefties, play a ton of first base. You kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone with that type of acquisition.
But how many lefty batters are you going to have, especially at Wrigley?
Mistake. You're right. So,
and don't get me wrong, Bellinger's had a good 3 years in a row, and last year he was in 23 and 25. He was excellent.
Yeah, they're probably not trading Seiya. You just convinced me. I mean, I already didn't think it, but it was a thought coming into the year because they need. I mean, how many real right-handed power bats do they have in their lineup right now?
Well, that's why I'm warming up to, and I know. Well, I think this is going to encourage you.
Yeah.
First of all, the person that should step in internally is Moises Ballesteros, in my mind.
To DH.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Owen Casey possibly in a supporting role, or Owen Casey on the Marlins or the Twins or the Nationals, whoever.
Yeah, the Dodgers. Just throw them out there for everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for 21 years young, Sam, Ballesteros put up amazing numbers last year. He slashed at AAA 316, 385, 473, and a limited time in the bigs, 298, 394, 474. He's had almost 800 plate appearances at AAA. AAA is over for him.
He's an everyday. He's ready to be an everyday offensive player.
It's going to be somewhere. And if you want one more Nico Horner type, then he might be the guy.
Yeah.
He knows the strike zone well. He puts the ball in play. His time is now. And if that's the case, then you put Shaw in that trade with Casey to the Twins for Joe Ryan, and you bring in the guy we wanted in July, in Eugenio Suarez for your right-handed power bat.
Wow. And where does Willie Castro play?
In the independent league.
Okay. He's a free agent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd prefer him sign somewhere else.
But does that excite you at all, that plan?
Thrills me.
I'm starting to draft some plans.
It thrills me.
Okay.
It absolutely thrills me. So you're saying you're replacing Ballesteros with Tucker?
By the way, I'm trading Shaw, Casey, and Wiggins to the Twins for Joe Ryan.
Yeah, thrilling. Well, Joe Ryan would be the perfect guy to pitch here because he's elevated heat, tons of fly balls, ball doesn't go anywhere. He might have an ERA at Wrigley that starts with a 0.
Oh, Matt, that's a high price. Oh, Matt, nobody at the deadline got traded. Oh, who started Game 7 for Toronto last night? I'm
Shane
sorry, was
Bieber.
that not a trade deadline acquisition?
That was Shane Bieber. Is he a Hall of
Yeah,
Famer? I don't think so. How many
he was
games?
available at the deadline.
How many games will the Blue Jays win? Give us a call. 3-1-2.
Are you rooting for the Blue Jays?
Yes.
Coming up next, we name all the rest of the Cubs that played for the Cubs last year. Stay tuned.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Folks, I gave out another winner. The Detroit Lions, -5.5. Cha-ching! I have some things in play for Sunday. I'm not ready to give it out yet. I'll tell you this. If Lamar Jackson is healthy, you might want to jump on FanDuel and some props and all that. I'm waiting to see the health status of him before I jump on Baltimore. And I got some other plays. I'm 23-6 right now, and you guys deserve, if I'm hot, you should be hot too. And once I lose a couple in a row, we'll stop. Okay. So what are you waiting for? Visit fanduel.com and download the FanDuel app today and get started.
Today's episode is brought to you by Rougiette. Let's be real. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress. I'm tired. It happens to everyone sometimes. And when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support, and that's where Rougiette comes in. Rougiette.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rougiette makes it to get started. You just connect with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, no awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments, and if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly straight to your door. The process is fast, simple, and private, and it's all handled by real doctors. Visit Rougiette.com, RUGIET.com/LockedOnMLB to get 15% off your first order. Rougiette.com/LockedOnMLB, and don't forget to use our code LockedOnMLB so that they know we sent you. Rougiette, stop making excuses and start making moves. Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Cubs on your preferred audio platform or YouTube. That way you don't miss any of the great Cubs content we've got for you. Hey. All right, final segment of the show right here. We started last episode naming, reviewing, memorizing. That's a word I made up. All the Cubs that we aren't doing individual grades for, the main pieces in the rotation and bullpen. So the remaining pitchers, Sam, first of all, Eli Morgan, who's a non-tender candidate, Michael Soroka, who was the Cubs trade deadline acquisition, one of them. He did pitch a little in the playoffs. Ethan Roberts, in my mind, is a non-tender candidate. Genesis Cabrera made a cameo appearance this year. Gavin Hollowell, Aaron Savale was a September 1st acquisition. And then I got a few more names, and then we could move on to the next phase of pitchers. Jordan Wicks, very little innings this year. Maybe he plays a role.
No, Jordan 26. Wicks. Yeah, it was disappointing.
Yeah. Nate Pearson and Taylor Rogers this first phase.
Yeah, all three, you could put that word.
Yeah, on. I wonder if Wicks would be in like one of those trades in the offseason.
Not sure.
Hollowell's a non-tender candidate too. He's still on the 40-man. Taylor Rogers is a free agent. Nate Pearson was a free agent. He recently signed a minor league deal, I think, with Houston. And Sam, do you remember Julian Merriweather was on this team?
Oh, I do. I think I was calling for him to be DFA'd for a couple of weeks, and was the same guy that was calling for him to be late innings early in the year. That shows you how the relief market works.
It's volatile for sure.
I think I had a short that was titled "This Julian Merriweather needs to be DFA'd."
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he had a fastball there.
Where is he now?
Don't know. Ryan Brazier was a disappointment this year, Sam.
Yeah,
In my
especially for you.
Yeah. Porter Hodge had a really up and down year.
Huge
He
disappointment
entered
for
the
him.
year as the closer. Javier Assad came back not until August, pitched pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder what type of a role he could have, maybe a Swiss Army role in 26. That seems to fit him well. Ryan Presley was DFA'd.
Yeah, we saw that one coming, didn't we?
Yikes. Chris Flexen had a 0 ERA at one point.
And then about 2 weeks later, he got DFA'd.
Yes, yeah, he did. He did. He pitched. I don't know if you'd call them meaningful innings, but
He did a good job while he was here.
He did. He did. Thank you. And believe it or don't, but the 6th most innings this year belong to Ben Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And if that happens next year, that's a problem. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a certain pitcher on the show here this week.
Oh, wow.
That once upon a time I was a little concerned about, in 22 or whatever. And so I don't want.
Well, that's true. I guess maybe I shouldn't overstate it.
I'm not going to go there yet with Ben Brown, but I'm just not a huge fan of what I've seen. I'm tired of the flashes. I'm ready for some more substance.
Yeah, no, it's a good way to put it. Maybe he goes to a 1-inning role. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, the 12 other position players quickly. And, the Cubs, really, the position group was pretty healthy all year. For example, 6 of these non-main 12 got 45 at-bats or less, so they barely even played. Kevin Alcantara, we'll see what his status is with the org moving forward. Gage Workman was a Cub this year. I know you had your script ready for him to be, I believe, the lead of that Cubs-Dodgers game, and then the Cubs won.
Right, when he made
that
he made those 2 errors. Yeah, great memory.
Nicky Lopez, Sam, the Naperville Central grad, was a Cub.
I thought he did a fine job.
Carlos Santana had a cup of coffee with this club.
Carlos Santana being a Cub will be a great immaculate grid in about 5 years.
Yeah, it's a good call. Sam, I really liked that doubleheader day Owen Casey had. That's my memories of him against the Brewers.
100%.
That was great. See what happens with him. Vidal Brujan got a few too many games in, but eventually he was sent packing. We talked about Ballesteros earlier. Here's a name that
I thought Ballesteros had one of the biggest hits of the season.
Wow, against Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee, the day before the trade deadline, that bases clearing double.
Okay. Hoping good things for Miguel Amaya next year.
Oh, big things.
Willie Castro, no comments.
I got a comment. He wasn't very good.
John Birdie.
I got a comment. Wasn't very good.
You know who was good, especially in the slug department and handling the staff, and really since June 1st was the backup
Reese McGuire.
catcher.
Reese McGuire did an outstanding job for this team. He won him a game.
Which one?
The game in Cincinnati.
Yes.
Game.
Yeah, that's Sunday. Right.
I think fact check me on this later, folks. He had 2 home runs in that game. I think both of them were actually off lefties.
Wow.
I could be wrong. Check me on that.
And finally, we've talked about him a little bit this week already, Justin Turner, who has an option.
Yeah, and I thought he did pretty much what he needed to do. He hit lefties. He got some clutch hits. I would have liked to see a little bit more thump from him, a little bit better of a year, but I thought he did fine.
This is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. For your second listen, check out Locked On MLB Game Night during the World Series. Every World Series game, every night. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB channel on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Maybe the Dodgers will lose a game.
We'll see.
Hey, what if they go 10-0?
Crazy, yeah. They lost the 1 game against Philly, right?
Oh,
so they'd go 13, and then they played in the wild card series, which they didn't care about.
I'm losing my mind.
So they'd go 13-1 potentially.
I totally forgot. I am.
He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.